Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In an increasingly fast-paced, conflicted and polarized world, where achieving a sense of peace and satisfaction is incredibly elusive, have you ever wondered how do we find meaning and fulfillment in life? What is the purpose of life? What is spirituality? And is there more to life than just keeping up with the Joneses? In this new series of Durus, we will be searching for the answers to these questions through the writings of His Holiness, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salatu wasalam, the Promised Messiah and Mahdi. His Holiness penned over 80 books elucidating the answers to many of the most perplexing questions of life. In this series, I'll be going through these writings and exploring these various concepts in an attempt to achieve clarity in a time of immense confusion. So let's get started.
اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح.
The first book I'll be covering in this series is The Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam, a landmark exposition on the various facets of spirituality and life as described by the religion of Islam. I've linked the book in the description below, and the wonderful thing is it's available to download on Amazon, iBooks and Google absolutely for free. Now, what is the background to this book? From the 26th to the 29th of December 1896, the Conference of Great Religions was held in the city of Lahore, which was still back then in India. Various representatives from the various world religions were invited to speak on 5 fundamental questions. His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salatu wasalam was invited to speak as the representative for Islam. The treatise that was presented on the day was later published in book form as the Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam. Now, what were the 5 fundamental questions that were asked in this conference? Firstly, what is the physical or natural, moral and spiritual states of man? Secondly, what is the state of man after death, i.e. the hereafter? Thirdly, what is the true purpose of man's existence on earth and how can it be achieved? Fourthly, what are the effects of one's deeds in this life and the afterlife? And finally, what are the sources of divine knowledge? These are incredibly profound and deep questions, I'm sure you would agree, which many of us do not even bother pursuing, thinking that with all the confusion in the world, any attempt at trying to find answers to such questions would just result in further confusion and anxiety. But I assure you, the answers provided by His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salatu wasalam were nothing short of a miracle. And that is exactly how he described it, a prophetic miracle. How? Well, a few days before the conference, after receiving revelation from God Almighty Himself, he publicly declared on the 21st of December 1896 that his essay would be the most overpowering. He said, and I quote, "This paper is not the result of ordinary human effort, but is a sign among the signs of God, written with His special support. It sets forth the beauties and truths of the Holy Quran and establishes like the noonday sun that the Holy Quran is in truth God's own word and is a book revealed by the Lord of all creation. Everyone who listens to this paper from the beginning to the end, to my treatment of all the 5 themes prescribed for the conference, will, I am sure, develop a new faith and will perceive a new light shining within himself." He further added that God informed him and revealed to him that his paper would be declared supreme over all other papers on the day. He said that he also received revelation in the following words: "God is with you and God stands where you stand. He explained that this is a metaphor conveying the assurances of divine support. And that is exactly what happened. Just as he promised, the lecture was declared to be the best in the whole conference. So much so that the audience requested another speaker to forfeit their time so that more time could be allotted to this particular lecture. And not only that, but an extra whole day was added to the conference. Several leading newspapers also praised His Holiness's lecture. One newspaper wrote, and I quote, "By far the best lecture at the conference was the one written by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and read, in a most beautiful manner, by the renowned and eloquent speaker, Maulavi Abdul Karim Sialkoti. The lecture was delivered in a total of 6 hours, 4 hours on the 27th of December and 2 hours on the 29th. And it filled 100 pages. The audience was captivated. Every sentence met with applause. At times, the audience requested that sentences be repeated over and over again. We have never before heard such a pleasing lecture. In truth, the representatives of the other religions did not address the questions posed by the conference. Most speakers dealt largely with the fourth question, only briefly passing over the other ones. A majority of the speakers talked much but said little. The exception was Mirza Sahib's paper, which gave a detailed and comprehensive answer to each of the individual questions. The audience listened with great interest and with undivided attention to a lecture which they found to be most superior and outstanding. In the next verse, inshallah, I'll start going through this book, beginning with the first question regarding the physical, moral, and spiritual states of man. Make sure to tune in next time so you can be part of this spiritual journey. And as mentioned before, I've linked the book in the description below so you can read it in your own time. Please do make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video so we can enable more people to benefit from the treasures left behind by the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.